Hello guys, and welcome to your second episode today of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler. I got my little boy Ronnie in the background, and so if he interrupts us, maybe we'll let him take over. One day he'll be a knife guy. He's currently 14 months old, so probably try to keep those away from him right now. Today we have the Civivi Praxis. Now, I know I'm late to the game in reviewing this guy, but you know, this is a lot of people's number one Civivi, so I have to do it its due respect. And when we crown the King Civivi, it would not be right of me not to review this prior to the whole battle to the death, stealing from Slicey Dicey. We'll say battle to mortality. No, that doesn't make sense either. You get the point. So, the Civivi Praxis, currently on Blade HQ. These are out of stock for everything but the orange, the green, well, hold on, the orange, the blue, and then the purple with Damascus. All right, this thing's coming in, and I don't have my pricing here. I want to say this thing's coming in at around $40 plus or minus, with the Damascus coming in at around 60 or 55. I hate to give you guys like the crappy specs, just trying to go off of memory, but sorry. We'll start out. I'll talk about the specs, I'll do some comparisons, but then we will really get to kind of my thoughts on this knife. So the specs on this knife, the overall length is 8.45 inches, the blade length is 3.75 inches, with the cutting edge of 3.25 due to that forward finger choil. And I wrote down some notes and I don't know what the hell that says. That's what I get. I want to say, my fault. Yep, that's what you guys get. The blade width on this super shiny satin finish is 1.25 inches. The stock actually coming in pretty thin at 0.11 inches. Wow, I'm really screwing you guys over. We'll just keep going. So the 9CR18 is the blade steel, which, as you guys know, maybe I'm a little influenced by Slicey, but I actually am preferring this steel over the D2. Maybe that's because I like sharpening, and I've had to sharpen a couple 9CR18 MOVs, mainly due to some of them came out of the box, not to my liking, but I haven't really had to resharpen any D2s yet, but I kind of think I carry more than 9CR18s. Not making excuses, or am I? So, the thickness of the handle, you're coming in at 0.51 inches. This is G10 with your typical drop point blade from Civivi, like I said, with a satin finish. And that's where we're sitting. So, hey. So, let's get into our comparisons. Today for comparisons, we have our Rat Models 1 and Rat Model 2. We're going to take those away real quick because their time today is limited with the contract that they have provided with me. They're getting hungry and feisty, and my kid is trying to take them out and let them run all over the house. That being said, let's get into our real comparisons. Hey, you're going to... Alright. See, this is why I need a Fortress of Solitude. Just to do these videos for you guys. So, on to the Rat Model 1. As you can see, it actually, just before we really go any further, the Rat Model 1 from that angle looked a little shorter, but from this angle looks a little bit shorter, but when you stack them, it actually looks like the Rat Model 1 beats it by about maybe 1/10 of an inch or so. Here's your Protect Newport. And get a bottle while we're doing this. Protect Newport. Now, you're going to see almost every knife on this section is either the same size or smaller due to the Praxis's large size. You got your PM2 and your Spyderco Tenacious. About the same size as a PM2, maybe a little bit longer in the blade. And then if you look at your Spyderco Tenacious, definitely longer in the blade. And I say that, but I think in the previous video I said that they look the exact same, so take that for what you will. In my opinion, the Praxis is a little bit bigger than both of those. Moving on to our Civivis. Here's your Civivi Elementum, as seen in the previous video. Here's your Civivi Backlash, my current king that might have got dethroned recently. As you can see, Praxis coming in at a much larger size. I want to do one more comparison, which is why I did the previous one first, because I think the Praxis has a little brother. The Civivi Duros. The little brother is a little bit stockier. Its actual handle width, I don't know if we could see from the naked eye, is supposedly thicker. They look, well, let's try and do it right. They look the same, but according to some spec sheets all over the place that I've tried to find, the Duros is 0.04 inches thicker. Not much of a difference, but for a smaller knife, it's interesting, right? Another comparison that we want to do here, if my camera will pick it up, look at those blades, which are dirty as all hell, because I plan nothing. All right, let's just do this real quick. So if you look, does anybody see any friggin' similarities in these blades? You know, yeah, this swedge goes all the way up, this one doesn't, this one doesn't, this one does, but it's almost the exact same blade. Even the width is not much different for a smaller knife in some of the sizes. So, and I know that, God, lighting. So, take that for what you will. If you like the Praxis, you're gonna love the Duros. All right. This isn't me selling the Duros because I've already done that. But they're like the same knife, just like Big Brother and Little Brother. It's pretty cool. One's a basketball player and one's a wrestler, apparently. Getting onto the Praxis, we'll talk about, you know, my experiences with it. Every knife that I review, the last couple reviews took a little while to come out because I wanted to carry each knife for a significant amount of time, enough for me to kind of figure out what I like and what I don't. You know, the Praxis being one of the flagship models for Civivi, I got it in my hands, and I watch Metal Complex a lot, and this is his holy grail of budget knives, basically, if you listen to a lot of his videos. And rightfully so, you know. The blade is heavy enough to where you get this lying drop shutty thing that I just did. The action's great, typical Civivi style. The size. Now, I was married to the 3.5 inch knives, this being a 3 3/4 inch knife. I was married to the 3.5s. So I tried to carry this. The first couple days I was like, I don't know, right? But as you start carrying this knife, you get it. This thing, you don't get much of a slice of your knife. And, I mean, it has everything you need. Just like the Duros, this thing does feel kind of like a little tank, right? I mean, it's not as tanky as I said before, the Rat Model 1 or anything like that, but the blade just feels robust. You know, the handle isn't as thick feeling as the Duros because it's longer. It's a little bit thinner, but you got a bigger blade, so it looks thinner. It's like when you're wearing big clothes, you can make yourself look thinner either way. But, well, as you can see, we got a lanyard hole, deep carry pocket clip, blah, 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 blah. You guys know this, ambidextrous, etc. These gold liners, which some people do and don't like. The reason I got it in tan is because I'm a pretty boring guy. I usually like the black handles with the satin finish blades, but I'm trying to mix it up, give you guys a little variance. If you guys saw all black handles with satin finish blades on this channel, you would probably stop watching. And by you guys, I mean you guy, whoever that is watching. So, carrying this. A complaint that I have, which I haven't done yet, but I'm growing, so I have complaints about all these knives. But I fidget with my knives probably more than I use them, which I'm assuming a lot of us are like that. This right here, this is kind of pointy. It's a pocket pecker, as Nick Shabazz would say. And your fidget factor, as you're playing with this starts to wear on your fingers. Is that a bad thing? Well, no, the knife's supposed to cut. It's, you know, but if you're looking for a fidgety knife, my current favorite fidget knife, short of the Manix 2, would be my Civivi Statera, because all those edges are knocked down, including the frame lock here. Or the, Yeah, the liner lock, I got those mixed up. But this thing, even the liner lock on this, you could tell is one of their first models because it's not knocked down. You feel it, the jimping on it's pretty aggressive, and you just feel it wear on your fingers as you're fidgeting with it. Once again, this isn't a knock on the Praxis. This isn't meant to say that this Praxis is any less of a knife than any of the others. I mean, my Backlash, which is my current favorite knife, has the same style. It's a little bit smoother on here, but the detent's a little bit stronger, so you do require more force, and the jimping on here is almost the exact same. Let's see if we can show these. I mean, it's the exact same jimping. So it makes sense that this also gives me a little bit of fatigue when I'm flipping it. I think there was one day where I really went to town, and I actually had to stop flipping knives for a day because I had calluses worn that were getting a little sore. I had some skin ripping off. Like, it was just obnoxious. So, yeah, they do have that going for them. So if you're looking for a knife that's fidgety, and that's one of your key things, I don't necessarily recommend this knife. If you're looking for something to fidgety, look at this Tatera. It's so knocked down if you're looking in the Civivi range. If not, if you're looking at the Manix 2 with that ball bearing lock, I mean, they fidget so well. And we're not going to talk about those knives because this is about the Praxis, but I'm just giving examples of knives that are fidgety. You know, the action on it's fantastic, but the fatigue you're going to get in your fingers is there. Overall thoughts. You can see this is knocked down here. It's G10. It's super grippy. I didn't go into this, but this is T8, 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 T6, T6. Typical Civivi, right? But what I'm getting at here is the Praxis. If you like the larger knives and you're looking for more of a budget price, got a budget price on the Praxis. I mean, one of their flagship models coming in at like 40, 45 bucks. This thing is friggin' awesome. You will not be dissatisfied. The sliciness of this blade is greater than most, excluding some Civivis, because some Civivis have that hollow, most Civivis have that hollow grind with that very, very fine behind the edge thickness that allows you just to slice through anything. But it is fantastic. I mean, it doesn't feel dainty in the tip, although all Civivis have a slightly or daintier tip just than some, because, you know, they're just a slicier blade. You know, again, that being said, that does not make it a non-robust knife. That just means, you know, don't cut open a bag of concrete. One thing I learned in the past, do not start digging through dirt with your knife to try and cut some roots or something because you're doing landscaping. If you're going to do that, grab a real beater knife. You don't want this knife for that. You're going to dull it instantly, not to mention if you're digging through dirt with it, which is what you're not supposed to be doing. It has a lot of clay. Well, some of our wheat stones and wet stones and all that stuff, I say it both ways because I talked to a couple different people that say it different ways. But some of those are, you know, made out of a type of clay with a mixture and stuff like that. So take that into consideration. Like, know what you're using your tools for. That being said, you want a larger knife. It has some fidget factor. It will wear your fingers out, but just like playing guitar, you'll get those calluses. It won't really matter. The ergos, you can grip on this like this. You can grip and choke up like that. The jimping right here doesn't really serve a purpose. I usually go a little bit higher up. Your whole hand fits on it, and you kind of get to choose where you want your hand to be for the strongest grip. For those of you with reverse grip, I mean, it's there. I've never found a purpose for reverse grips, but long story short, guys, there's a reason this model was one of the flagship models, and there's a reason this model is still on the market. This is the large benchmark for budget knives. This knife, hands down, for the above 3.5 inch knives. I mean, with a weight that I apparently didn't write down because I suck. I think I wrote this wrong. I want to say this is coming in at like a 4.4 ounces, just for your knowledge. But this video is getting too long. This knife is awesome. All right, ergos, blade, deep carry pocket clip, the T8s that are on here with the T6 pocket clips, but then not a big deal. You're never going to get away from these gold liners unless they decide to change, because right now that's what everything has. Doesn't matter. I think it looks great. Again, my opinion. Remember, I'm going to be doing a King Civivi here shortly, so I want you guys to kind of watch these videos who are interested in them. Watch the reviews, because when I do the battles between the knives, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing, you know what, I'll do a separate video on what I'm going to do for that. You guys have a great day. This has been Tyler with Everyday EDC. Thanks for coming. Stay safe, stay corona free, and you know what? Don't go riot. It's not smart. Don't do it. And don't freaking cut yourselves. Have a good day.